Welcome to your daily 5-minute crypto brief with Satoshi and Nova. Today is July 1st, 2025. I am Nova.
I am Satoshi. Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're digging into the daily crypto market report from July 1st, 2025.
Yeah.
Quite a mix: global economics, some, well, surprising market moves, and a few key crypto events you really need to know about.
Absolutely. Our goal today is, cut through that noise, help you really understand the key takeaways from this snapshot, pinpoint what actually matters if you're watching this space.
Okay, let's jump right in. What's the immediate sort of big picture for crypto? We saw some mixed signals in the last day or so.
We did.
Bitcoin was around $107,000, slipped a bit, maybe 1.3%. And Ethereum looks similar, near $2,485, down, 0.7%?
That's right, yeah. Both consolidating a little after their recent runs, but what's really interesting here is the divergence we saw.
Divergence, how so?
Well, while Bitcoin and Ether paused, some of the other big players, the top altcoins, actually ticked up. Binance Coin, Solana, they gained maybe 0.3 to 0.8%.
Okay.
And XRP was up even more, over 1.4%. So it looks like some investors might be rotating, shifting funds into select large cap alts.
Interesting. But not everything was up.
No, exactly. On the flip side, the more speculative stuff like meme coins, Dogecoin and Shiba Inu dropped almost 2%. And PPA took a bigger hit, down over 4%. So that kind of suggests traders are maybe pulling back from the riskier bets, taking some risk off the table there.
Right. So with those little dips at the top, the overall mood, the crypto fear and greed index is still saying greed, right? Mid-60s.
It is, yeah. Still in greed territory.
Does that feel like genuine confidence then, or is that pullback in meme coins telling a different story underneath?
Well, it's a bit nuanced, I think. The greed reading definitely shows retail optimism is still around.
Okay.
But like you said, the meme coin drop shows maybe a more mixed appetite for risk. Investors seem to be favoring, let's say, quality or perceived quality over just pure hype, which, could be a sign of the market maturing a little.
That makes sense. And it wasn't just internal crypto stuff moving markets yesterday, was it? Global economic data seemed to play a big part.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Fresh U.S. economic data really helps kind of rekindle some risk appetite.
Like the ISM manufacturing PMI. It came in at 48.8. Now that's still below 50, which usually means contraction, right?
Yeah.
So how did that ease fears?
Right. Good question. So, yeah, under 50 is contraction territory, but the key was that 48.8 was actually a little better than what people expect.
Okay, expectations were lower.
Exactly. Expectations were around 48.5. So that slight beat, it was enough to kind of calm some of those immediate recession worries, suggesting maybe the slowdown isn't quite as bad as feared.
Gotcha.
And then over in Asia, China's Keekson manufacturing PMI actually jumped back into expansion territory, hit 50.4.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, after 2 months of contraction. So those two things together really helped boost the outlook for global demand, and that tends to support risk assets, crypto included.
And what about traditional markets, bond yields, for instance? How do they fit into this crypto picture?
Well, we saw U.S. Treasury yields falling. The 10-year benchmark dipped below 4.24%.
Which is pretty low, historically speaking, recently.
Lowest since early May, yeah. And when yields on traditional safe assets like treasuries fall, it makes zero-yield assets like Bitcoin look relatively more attractive.
Because the opportunity cost is lower.
Precisely. Lower returns on bonds can push some investors towards assets like crypto that don't pay interest but offer potential price appreciation. It just makes the overall rate environment a bit more crypto-friendly, you could say.
Okay, shifting back to crypto-specific stuff then. Beyond the price action, what were the standout events?
Yeah, a couple of big ones. First, the planned launch this week of the first U.S. Solana staking ETF.
A staking ETF. How does that work?
So this is from RX Shares, called the RX Osprey Solana SOL plus staking ETF. It gives investors direct exposure to SOL, the coin, plus the staking rewards you earn by helping secure the Solana network.
Ah, so you get the price movement and the yield.
Exactly. And the market reacted pretty positively. Solana's price jumped about 6%, up to $158 on the news.
That's significant.
It really is. It's kind of a pioneering fund.
Yeah.
Could really pave the way for other ETFs focused on different altcoins, offering staking rewards. It's another step towards, institutional adoption beyond just Bitcoin and maybe Ethereum.
Okay, so that's a positive development. Any cautionary notes?
Yes, definitely. There's a significant one involving a large Ethereum holder, a whale.
Oh, what happened there?
Well, data shows two large wallets unstaked a lot of ETH in June. We're talking about 95,920 ETH.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
About $237 million worth, yeah. And then they sent a big chunk of that, over 62,000 ETH, about $154 million to exchanges, presumably to sell, or at least have ready to sell.
So potential selling pressure, how much is left?
That's the key. There's still roughly 33,600 ETH, maybe $83 million worth, sitting in that whale's address. It's like this overhead supply that could hit the market.
And that's already had an impact.
It seems so. This activity coincided with ETH breaking below a pretty important multi-year support level.
Oh, that's not good.
No. It sort of changes the technical picture. It opens up the possibility, if that selling continues or more comes online, that ETH could potentially drop towards $1,600.
Which is quite a bit lower than now.
Yeah, roughly 25% lower. So definitely something to watch closely. On-chain movements like this matter.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Any other maybe smaller exchange things to note?
Just quickly, Binance had a temporary suspension of Polygon, MATIC deposits and withdrawals yesterday.
Okay. Problem.
No, just standard procedure. It was for a planned network upgrade, a hard fork. They do that to ensure everything's safe during the transition. It should actually improve the Polygon network's performance in the long run.
Right. Makes sense. Okay, so pulling it all together,
Yeah.
feels like a cautiously bullish outlook overall, maybe, but with some clear, identifiable risks.
Precisely. Yeah, that sums it up well. The macro picture seems somewhat supportive, these tailwinds we talked about, but you absolutely need to be vigilant.
What are the main things to watch out for this week, then?
Well, beyond that ETH whale situation, keep an ear out for central bank speakers. We've got Fed Chair Powell, ECB's Lagarde talking this week. Their comments could definitely stir things up.
Right. Always influential.
Yeah. And there's also a major Bitcoin options expiry coming up. Lots of contracts clustered around the $100 and $110 K levels that can sometimes lead to volatility around expiry.
Okay.
Plus, Bitcoin hasn't managed to decisively break past its recent high near 111K. That suggests maybe some potential for a short-term technical pullback is still there.
So it's a complex picture. This deep dive really shows a market that's digesting its gains, reacting very directly to global economics, but also clearly maturing.
It does, and it brings up a really important question, I think. How do you, as an investor or just an observer, balance that optimism we see, like with the ETF news, with, real prudence given these risks?
Yeah.
Staying informed on both fronts, the big macro picture and the specific on-chain crypto stuff, seems absolutely critical right now.
Definitely. And as we see more institutional products like that Solana ETF potentially coming online, how might that change the game for other altcoins, maybe even smaller ones, in the coming months? That's certainly something to think about as you keep exploring this space.
Enjoyed the brief? Please like and subscribe. We deliver fresh market updates, macro signals, and crypto news daily in just 5 minutes. Live streams coming soon. Stay tuned.